2, 1, go. So,
Okay,
I'm
impossible
Sigma.
game.
I'll be here on commentary for a bit. Tara is doing all the hard work.
Yo, I'm Teva. And this is going to be a train wreck.
I heard you you actually did at least one run before this marathon.
I did a couple, yeah.
Oh, good job.
I'm not doing the crazy juggle route. I'm doing the good route.
Oh, thank goodness.
So we'll see how that goes.
Alright, so this is Ori. There's not too much going on at the start of the game. Right now all we can do is run and jump. We're about to head over and get our ability to attack and then, you know, beat up all of the poor forest animals in the Sunken Glades. They never did anything to deserve it, but we don't care about that. So this is our buddy's sign. Normally there'd be some dialogue explaining what's going on, but if you play with the UI off, you instantly skip all dialogue, which saves you time even if your mashing is perfect, so you don't get to see any of the story of this game. If you haven't played it, that's a good thing, because you may not understand what's going on, but then you'll get to play it on your own and enjoy it. So Tara's just going to beat up these Frankies.
Barely.
He did win, so that's really the important thing. And now we're just kind of hanging out. There's a couple manipulations going on here. Tara ran into that kind of creep on the ground on purpose to take a little bit of damage, because he wants to have an intentional death coming up here, and he's also taking a specific amount of experience from various enemies. He's probably going to, you know, take a look at his experience later to set up a timed level up as he approaches the first real skill in the game, wall jump. And so much for that damage boost, because that health drop.
Yeah.
And another one.
It never fails.
Thanks, RNG. So we lost a second to RNG. Beautiful. Oh, nice. So yeah, damage boosted down to 1. So what he's going to do here is put the keys in this door and then die. And this just skips the 5-second long door opening animation. Just gets to run right through.
We're also going to
Now,
pick up this 4th health cell here.
Oh yeah.
We don't want to go do any 3 health things. We're not that crazy.
The route for the game changed lately to make 5 health actually required to do the fastest route. So picking up this health early only loses you about 2 seconds over getting a slightly more convenient one later after you've already gone through all the parts of the game where you actually would need help.
Right, should have the
I'm
time
reading the
level
chat
up
and
here.
everybody's saying the audio is dead, but hopefully that's not true, so I'm just going to keep talking. And nice.
I almost died. We're okay
Yo,
though.
you got this. So here's the timed level up. It's just going to blow up the wall of spores so that Tara doesn't have to kill them on the way out. And now we're picking up the first real skill in the game called wall jump, which, as you might guess, lets you jump up walls, which is pretty convenient because right now we're stuck in a pit. This game would be pretty short if there had just been a different spirit tree here. This was our new home. There's a bit of a detour to grab an energy cell here. Energy in this game is used for things like saving, certain attacks, and most importantly, an ability we'll get about 15 or 20 minutes from now called Charge Dash. It burns an energy for each use, and it is insanely fast, so all of the energy we pick up is pretty much just for more Charge Dash uses later, so we'll be going out of our way here and there to get up to 5 energy cells eventually. Right now we have 2. There's just damage boosting out of this lower area because that's the fastest way out, and moving over to Blackroot Burrows.
Yeah, we didn't actually know about charge dashing, right? Oh, we didn't actually use charge dashing in the run when the game first came out. I think it was like 6 months or so later down the line where we eventually switched to it.
Yeah, the vanilla version of this game didn't have dashing in it at all, so we took quite a while to find useful dash tech, basically, since you do have to farm a fair amount of ability points and energy cells to make charge dash worth it. And until we found some bugs related to charge dash, it was tough. So what Tara's doing here is he's got the menu up and he's able to play in the background, do some menuing tricks. And then he's going to level up an ability which has the effect of skipping a cutscene that would normally take about 20 seconds to watch. And it would give spoilers, and we're not all about that, so let's just get in here without a cutscene.
Unless your name is Chosen to 12, where you watch the cutscenes.
Dang. I don't know if he's even here, but I hope he watches the VOD later to get all the trash talk.
Of course.
So this is the new area in the definitive edition of the game, and this is going to give us the dash skill. It's really nice that this is at the start of the game, because dashing is about 3 times faster than just running, and it cuts out a lot of just kind of horizontal, mindlessly mashing jump. A little bit of a tricky jump there. Nice job from Terry, get up there first try.
I think we'll make the cycle.
Yeah, I think you're good.
I think you have like 3-4 seconds leeway.
It's pretty forgiving. You got like messed up once, but you should be perfectly fine on the fast cycle.
Yeah, this looks fine.
So this area is kind of an auto-scroller. There's some stuff you can do to speed it up a little bit, but there's really not much. You just have to wait for these platform cycles up here, and as you can see, Terra's catching that cycle when it's still halfway up, so he's on the correct cycle, and we'll be getting into the dash tree soon. Now, of course, that jump up to the big experience orb he did earlier is to get another ability point, to skip another cutscene. Much like we did when we entered, there's another long cutscene leading up to the dash tree, which we'd like to just get through, and we need an ability point to skip it, so that's what that is for.
I thought I was going to level up off that slime.
Yo, it's just optimal.
Yeah.
Got this. So soon, we'll be free of this auto-scroller, and we'll actually be running around instead of riding on platforms. So that'll be pretty fun. Now, coming up right after this area, there's a trick, which is a huge sequence break called the Frankie Walk. And basically the way it works is that on the right side of the starting area, there's a door, which you have to put 4 energy into to open. And there isn't even 4 energy in the starting area. You can't get enough to open it. But when you level up, your energy gets fully refilled. So what we're able to do is lure an enemy over there, kill it, put 2 of our energy into the door, the max that we have, and then we'll level up and put 2 more energy into the door to get through. So this gets us into the Moon Grotto early, skips basically the tutorial section of the game and a long run around through swamp. And now we've got dash, so Terra's speeding along with this, and we're getting into that Frankie Walk right now.
I love dash. I was really skeptical about it when it first came out, like DE, and I don't know what, I'm not sure if some people didn't like it at first, but it turns out it's pretty amazing.
It's just because we all hated change, I think.
Yeah,
That's the only reason.
Yeah.
Now, the all skills run in the definitive edition, despite the fact that it has to pick up 2 more skills, so doing 2 more entire areas, is actually faster than the vanilla version because you can dash, and dashing is unbelievably fast. So Terra's got this Frankie damage down to 1 hit, and he'll be leveling up to this door. Now this is a pretty spooky part of the game called the Death Run. He has used up all his energy, so he can't save here, and he has to get through this poison water, which he has done, and then get through this series of crushers and spikes. And this is a cool trick here. Nice. Call that the death glide. If you're a little short on it, you meet an untimely death usually. But we're through. We got our 3rd energy cell able to safety save. And coming up right here, there's a very tense section of the game with fast, good dash inputs. You can skip a cycle on these crushers over to the right, so we'll see how that goes. Nice. That saves 8 seconds, and it looks easy when it goes well, but you mess up any of those inputs, there's only a couple frames that you actually make it in. And there's one really fun frame where the corner of the wall will crush you and kill you. So we avoided all of that, and we're on our way to double jump.
I'm still getting 1 framed in that at GDQ.
That's why you save before you go down there. You know it'll happen. You know you'll be just a 1/10 of a second slow and you'll be dead. So here's another cutscene skip on the double jump tree. This is a common theme. Cutscene, you want to skip it. Oh no.
It's okay, I just killed myself.
Alright, good. So you gotta do blind movement out of here, and he fell into the pit, which makes it super hard to get out.
It's fine. Okay.
Yeah, so nobody saw anything go wrong there because it all happened off camera. This round's still perfect.
Just RNG manipulation off screen.
Yeah. So we've picked up double jump, and soon we'll be heading over to the first dungeon of the game, the Ginso tree. We're just gonna go grab the key, which is conveniently at the top of this area that we just fell into. And then we'll be headed in there. We're still kind of out of sequence because of that Frankie Walk trick. We're supposed to have another skill called Charge Flame, and we're supposed to have, at some point, visited the Spirit Tree, which told us what we're doing, and basically we're trying to save the forest by killing everything in it.
It doesn't sound so silly until you actually see it.
Well, you know. So now we have some abilities. One of the most important ones is called Kindle, which lets you reuse your save point. This game does a very poor job of forcing you to watch cutscenes, because now we don't even need to use abilities to skip most of our cutscenes, because we can just place a save point right next to the cutscene and then rekindle it as we step into the cutscene, and that lets us skip through all of those. So all of those reloads and whatnot are just doing that. And in the meantime, we get some funny kind of sequence broken stuff. This spidery four-limbed dude who's walking around making all the cool noises. His name's Gumo, and you're supposed to meet him at the entrance to the first dungeon when you pass by it, and he steals the key. You have to chase him all the way down here. But we're leaving this area in reverse, so he's kind of just sitting around. You'll just see the key to the first dungeon sitting on the edge of the platform there, and watch all these cutscenes in the reverse, and it ends with us getting to the tree and then putting the key in as he tries to run away with it in a cutscene. So it's pretty good. I'm a big fan of these backwards cutscenes on this sequence break.
It's so good. Okay, yeah, I picked up the ability cell there because I'm doing an easier route as compared to the world record route.
Yeah. You dump a couple of seconds to take this extra cell, which lets you do a skip later in the game, which prevents you from doing this chained 2-frame input nightmare trick in Suro Pass.
Okay. Oh, watching the cutscene.
we gotta watch one or two. So we just didn't want to, break the fabric of space and time by putting the key in. He runs away with the key and then passes that to us, like behind the screen. We've got it. Now it's in the door. Now we're going in. It's all good.
So Sigma, do you say Ginso or Jinso? This is
I'm
a
a
Ginso
Ginso
tree.
tree
Yeah, this is a Ginso. Yeah. There's some weird people that say Jinso.
Yeah, I don't know about that. It's spelled with a G, so.
Yeah, no one says Jiff.
So we're just heading up through this tree. Since it's a tree, you're basically just climbing it. Nice job not falling. Very good.
This is very sketchy. Okay, we're fine.
Everything's okay. No panic. So we're pretty much heading up. Soon we get to fight a mini-boss, which is one of the more annoying parts of the run. Since we did that sequence break much earlier to get out of the first area of the game and directly to double jump, we missed picking up Charge Flame, which means our attack option is still just basic attack, basically. So all you have to do for this boss is plink him 40 times, rather than shoot him with 2 Charge Flames, basically. So you get to enjoy a couple cycles of this dude.
Oh no. Oh, okay.
Good damage, RNG manipulation.
Yeah, there is a 1-frame tell every time the boss despawns that you can see where he's going to be, but sometimes it's impossible to tell.
Yeah, it can be tough. You have to kind of stare at a few locations and make a read on where he is, but kills him pretty fast, just 1 hit left over there. And now we're through, and we're about to get kind of the signature move of the game, and I think why the vanilla game was so popular.
Yeah.
That move is Bash.
It's okay, we saved.
Well saved.
Well saved.
Tasty spikes.
Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, right, we're getting infinited here.
Yo, this game's hard, man. when you have no HP and the spikes are there, they're just so appealing. Alright, so Terra was just giving me more of an opportunity to explain what Bash does. Pretty much, it's like you grab an object, or enemy, or whatever, and you throw it behind you, and you throw yourself in some direction. And this gives you insane mobility in the air that we didn't have before, so we'll get to see it put to great effect very soon, because following getting Bash, of course, we have a whole bunch of Bash puzzles to show it off.
Okay, we can just blame the controller for that mess.
Yeah.
Yeah, switching to keyboard now.
Yeah, as you can see the mouse flying around. The mouse bashing is generally more convenient than controller bashing, so Terra switches here. And so he can do that trick there, where he had 2 arrows show off the projectile, so he could bash it and then follow it, which is a 1 frame input after your bash to chase the projectile without redirecting it again. So right now there's going to be an intentional death, unlike all those other ones before.
I made a huge mistake. Okay.
You just go back down, I guess. Or do you have a backup?
I'll just go here.
Okay.
No one saw anything.
Alright, so we just got Bash for the first and coming up in this next section, there's going to be an intentional death.
Okay, let's just stay.
Which allows us to duplicate the keystones that are found in this next area. And then you do exactly the same movement after you take an intentional death with some of the keystones in the door. And that next time, then you save up there for the first time. And then it all works out. Okay. And what this does is it lets us skip a long swimming section later on, which saves us quite some time. Plus, if you came here hoping to see the Ginso tree escape sequence where the water's chasing you out of the tree, I'm going to be sadly disappointed because we don't do that anymore, because it's faster to just teleport out of the tree instead and leave the water poisonous for the entire game. So even if we wanted to go swimming, it would be a rather short tip.
Okay, that is...
So there's the first savior scene up there. Beautiful.
Thanks.
Now let's just get into this second boss room. This boss isn't too smart, he just shoots you until he dies, because the only thing you can damage him with at this point is his own projectile. So we'll skip the top of the tree, teleport back to Grotto, and we're going to sequence break into the place that the Ginso escape would normally take you to, Thornfeld Swamp.
I'm going to be really careful up here not to ramp through the floor.
Yeah!
I think you saw that. But,
yeah, sometimes walls and floors in this game just aren't there, and you can fall down to those spikes below if you do a dash in the wrong place. So here's another cutscene skip, and Terra, while this is going on, is going to do some blind movement to get into the swamp area and approach a frog enemy, which we're going to use to break our way into swamp. Normally, to use this path, you would need to have charge jump and stomp, which is coming up now. So, good save, good save.
There we go. Oh dear.
So this is pretty tricky. You have to not dump this frog into the water, and you have to avoid the spikes. For some reason, the spikes don't hurt this guy. He's just really tough, I guess. So now time for some tricky bashing.
Oh,
break
okay.
Next. Oh, nice. Sometimes bash doesn't work, as you can see there.
Yeah,
the projectile just does what it wants.
I wonder if it's because I picked up the cell. I'm not sure.
Just blame the game.
Yeah.
So we're through to swamp now, and because we have keystones already, we can just open this door and carry on to the stomp tree.
Okay. Yeah, that's how you're supposed to do that.
Perfect.
Amazing.
Flawless. So Stomp as an ability is not super useful on its own. We probably only get it because the category's definition is to get all the skills. It doesn't actually speed you up enough to be worth coming all the way over here, but it has some uses since we have to get it anyways. You fall faster when you're stomping, more aerodynamic or something like that. So you'll be using stomp to go down basically any distance. Whoa, nice little dip into the water there.
Yeah, we have 2 health, so we'll
yeah, 4 health is the best.
Let's just save here. Please don't kill me. Okay.
Now we get more use out of our friend the frog, who helped us get into swamp to help us go grab this ability cell over here, because we still need to get a couple more points for charge dash and then a couple cutscene skips that cannot be done with rekindle later on. We'll use with ability points. Now here there's a really tight trick called the Kuro cutscene skip, and if Terra gets it, it'll look like nothing happened at all. He has to stand in a precise spot and bash, and well, we get to watch it. That's okay. It's a very, very small window to get this one, so it's easy to miss.
It was a lot more forgiving in originally Ori because the window was massive, but for some reason it's changed completely, and it's only got a couple of frames or so.
Yeah, I think for the first few weeks, or maybe maybe a month or 2 of running this game, we thought it just couldn't be done, and then somebody got it again. It was like, what? Everybody's been missing this since the version came out. So there's our final energy cell grab, which is preparing for charge dash, which we'll be getting fairly soon. And despite the fact that we have to go a little bit out of our way for that, it makes us go a lot faster later, so it's worth doing. And now we're finally kind of getting back into sequence, and we're going to pick up Charge Flame, which we were supposed to get right after Wall Jump, and then we're going to go over to the Spirit Tree and have it tell us about what we're actually doing here. Or not.
No, because we're going to skip it.
Yep, we got the ability menu up again. This is one of the ones that you have to skip with ability points, but it's convenient enough because we need to level up to charge dash anyways, so we're going to grab a couple skills here. And now we're headed over to Valley of the Wind. This is where the run really starts to pick up in terms of speed and in terms of trick density, so this part is quite intense. So first, got a couple ability cells to grab. And
Bird was out for blood.
Oh my gosh, he wanted a piece. Now we have our last little breather in this cutscene, watching the stomp peg open. Now the trick coming up is something called fast stomplets. We've picked up the stomp ability, so the normal sequence of the game is you get into Valley of the Wind, and you get to go look at the big antagonist of the game, Kuro, this giant bird, who's guarding the Valley of the Wind and won't let you through. So to get through, you have to go around and drop a bunch of rocks on Kuro's head. But the rocks will fall if they just take damage, not necessarily you stomping on them. So what Terra's going to do is he's going to shoot a shot at a very precise angle to hit the rocks from long distance. And as soon as the shot hits the rocks, it'll give you the cutscene as if you stomped them. So in the meantime, while the shot's going over there, he's going to use this time to get back and pick up one more ability cell, which he needs for later. So he grabs the cell, shot hits the rocks, and now we get the stomp cutscene, get teleported into Valley. So it's really sick, nice, fast first try fast stomp. Good job.
Thanks. I actually thought I was going to die. I was really close to jumping into the spikes. And the shot almost hit the spikes as well. It's so spooky.
Alright, so coming up right away, we will level up Charge Dash and instantly do a trick with Charge Dash called Rocket Jumping. And how this works is Charge Dash, unlike Dash, which just goes horizontally, homes onto enemies. So you can Charge Dash vertically, like that, and jump out of it, which makes the game forget to decelerate you, and then just go flying like crazy. And now we have the biggest sequence break in the game, Bash, which is just manipulating this bird through these spikes, which one-shot you, and getting up here. Normally you're supposed to have a wind current active, which will let you just float through that part, but we skip an entire 2 areas which is required to activate that wind current and just go straight up like this. So more rocket jumps, more charge dashing, just flying through Patch, going straight up. You're supposed to go around to the left a whole bunch of times, but that's slow, so we're just going to do sequence breaks to break the roofs and floors, if you will, as we go through. And there's another intentional death for a ghost door trick, and another save anywhere trick to do a break into the top. We're about to pick up the last really big movement ability, charge jump, which lets you basically do a huge vertical jump and also break stuff, which will be useful in a short moment.
Okay, let's see if I can not fail my own trick.
Yeah. So this is pretty spooky. Because your view is obscured and these spikes still one-shot you, you have to be a little careful moving through this sector. Terry's also going to grab an experience orb there to set up his last level up in the game. And then he's going to get up against this roof, he's going to save, and he's going to charge jump and die. And you get 1 frame of charge jump damage when you reload by doing this, and that lets you break that roof without having to do going around the left side or bringing a frog up with you to break it. So that saves a fair chunk of time here. And now we keep the save anywhere up because we have yet another cutscene which is unskippable with a rekindle. And this is the Sunstone cutscene, which is super long. It's something like 80 seconds or something like that. So we'll just wait to actually get the Sunstone, level ability, reload, and then we'll be out of there. So that's the key to the final dungeon, which we only need because this is a no out of bounds category.
I did a run yesterday and I actually messed up the terror breaking the ceiling, and I had to go down and get a frog. It was awful.
What a tragedy.
Can't even do my own trick. Oh, almost. I swear it was impossible.
Close, close. So now if you liked those upwards rocket jumps, you're about to see a downwards one called a meteor kick. It's exactly the same. You just go down, and it's just kind of cool swaggy way to get down to Misty Woods. So this is the area we were supposed to do right after Feather. You're supposed to, this is kind of intended to be a puzzle area, but because we have charge dash, rocket jumping, and charge jump, it's not so much that and more of just flying through with movement. So this area is really fun. There's not much in here, just the climb skill, which is used to be useless. Now it's marginally useful, but it's a skill. It's required for the category, so in we go. We get to tear through Misty Woods real quick.
Plenty of spikes in here as well. Is this where your run usually dies if you're doing 3 HP? Because all these spikes will do 3 points of damage.
I think you haven't taken any damage yet, so you're pretty safe as 4.
So you said that.
Did I jinx you? Oh! That's why you take 4 HP. You don't... Beautiful. Beautiful.
You literally said damage and I got hit.
What? Take damage? Yeah, sure. So you can't really save much in this section because you want to be burning all of your energy on charge dashes, so dying there would be super painful, but didn't die, and we get to just now tear through the second half of Misty Woods with some more awesome movement.
I think I'm okay in energy.
Yeah, it's very easy to drop energy here. Kind of hard to tell when you miss refunding one of your C dashes, but we are set.
Yeah, 5. We're all good.
Now, for the most part, since the Ginso tree, we haven't really been fighting any enemies. We've kind of just been bypassing all of them. But coming up, we have the final boss of Misty Woods, which we'll have to fight. It's pretty long, tough fight normally. I think Terra will be okay, though.
That was, okay. I took 3 points of damage, I was being so careful there. Oh, I didn't level up.
Utilizing your health. Your health would feel lonely if, you know, you didn't go down to the last one every so often.
It's okay, I'll level up here. Oh,
yeah,
no.
so that level will give Terra the last ability point he needs for the final cutscene. We can't skip the Kindle. And we're also on our way to the final skill, which is the other new skill added in the Definitive Edition, Light Grenade. Now, for the longest time, we thought that Grenade was just totally useless. But it turns out that there is one trick which runners both love and hate, called Grenade Jump.
Oh no.
Where you use a charge jump off of a wall right after you throw a grenade, 1 frame after. and it lets you go flying off of the wall horizontally, which in most cases is not a huge time save. But this input lets you skip a huge part of the final cutscene of the game, so it basically must be done. So we have a nice unnerving one-frame trick as the last input in the run to look forward to now. So, oh boy, that's perfectly fine. Good job.
Thank you.
So that's last cutscene skip, and we're just going to pick up a grenade and then weave through the lasers on our way out of here.
This late game's been a lot much better than the early game.
Man, the Ginso tree was tricky. That's just how it goes.
Yeah. It's called, they called it Jinso tree. It's taking its revenge.
Oh, yeah, probably. Nice. Skipping that top laser can be a little spooky, but Terra got it, no problem. Now we're just gonna head over here to the teleporter. We unlocked the swamp teleporter earlier, just so that we could head there now with this, because it's the closest convenient teleporter to the last dungeon. But first, we'll pick up that 5th health cell, so that we have enough health to survive the final escape. And you might say, why do you need health to survive the final escape? Just don't get hit. Well, since we never did the Ginso escape, the water is still poisonous, and there's a little bit of swimming at the end, which you need at least 5 health to get through, so that's why we grab it.
Yeah, let's go 5 health. I was thinking going 6, but no pain, no gain.
Oh yeah, so if Terra was saying he could pick up another health cell here and have a completely free swim, but he's going to go for the optimal swimming with 5 health and save his, what is it, 6 seconds? 5 seconds?
Hey, yeah, something like that.
Totally worth it. Oh, I completely forgot while I was explaining the awful escape that we've got another trick coming up, which is another one-frame trick called Door Warp. Normally, the last dungeon is a dungeon, and you have to do it, but for some reason, when you reload a file and enter a door on the first frame the file loads, it puts you somewhere different than the normal door spot, and this door happens to take you to the end of the dungeon, so just do that and it's done.
We still
Nice
have,
job, dude.
I don't think we even have any idea how that works.
The funny thing about it is it doesn't work in the vanilla edition of the game. They introduced that bug somehow when they introduced dash and grenade, so go figure.
What a video game.
So now we're here in the final escape, getting chased around by this bird. And it's very important that Terra takes no damage from any of the fire or rocks or anything like that.
Don't say
because if
damage
he
again.
takes any damage,
Stop saying damage.
Dead in the water. Alright, so there's a manipulation here to make sure this fish is in a good position. So he waits a bit, gets the fish in a good position, he's going through. Nice, dude. Survives with 1 health. But it's not over because we have a grenade jump. Oh, you no!
It's okay.
Well, I didn't even say it that time.
I know.
Maybe with the curse from earlier.
It's okay.
I'd like to take this moment to give a shout out to Shed, who was gonna PB by 30 seconds yesterday, and did exactly what you just did.
Oh no. Rip shit.
So we got the fish manip again. Swim's looking good.
That boulder was really close.
Those boulders are oh my gosh, they're spooky. Alright, so here we go. 1 frame input on the grenade jump. First try.
There we go.
Nice, man.
That was. Oh, okay, made it underestimate. That's the main thing.
Solid.
Was I supposed to hit time?
No.
Oh, not yet. You're good.
Good.
Oh, okay.
There's a little bit of a kind of cutscene at the end of this, which is just you hold the right and
Yeah.
you walk to the end.
We'll call it out.
So, yeah, I'll let Terra call it when it's actually time.
And time.
34.
GG.
GG, dude.
Thank you. Oh, that was something. charge flame to light burst, which I was actually saved time on my PB.
The early game is just really hard. Lots of
Oh,
spikes.
It's impossible. Alright, thanks
So
for
thanks for watching, Ori.
yeah, thanks for commenting,
Enjoy.
Sigma.
Yeah, no problem, dude.
Is there anything else you would like to say? You want to plug yourself, make yourself famous, anything?
Well, there's going to be a run at AGDQ, a 4-way race of this game, this category, what you just saw. It's going to be between me, Villagin, Sigma, and who's right here in voice call with me, and Hydra. So look out for that. It's going to be the first 4-way HD race at AGDQ. So please watch.
Please do.
Please do. But yeah, thanks for having us. Thanks for choosing Ori as well. It's much appreciated.
Alright. And you're gone. I think. I don't think I cut off our voices. Alright. Thank you. Good
Yo.
video game. There
Yo.
wasn't much audio issues, but there was a little bit, so my advice was good.
Alright, cool. Right, thank you, dude. Thanks. Thanks a lot.
No problem, bud. It was a good little white dog game.
Good luck in the rest of the stream.
Thank you.
Thanks, dude.